Governments in Australia don't go broke, but Territorians will, and people will leave the Territory if we continue down this path, or the government continues down this path of 0% wage increases. Currently, an example is an orderly in a hospital who might be on 52 grand a year. They'll still be on 52 grand a year in 4 years' time. That will be their wage. Now, if anyone can find how that person will be able to survive living in Darwin, paying their rent, fuel, food, the whole lot, on that same wage in 4 years' time, well, please give us the answer, because no one, no economist, no people like that can see how this is possible. We need to get this government to wake up. They need to absolutely make some real decisions for workers in the Northern Territory, and it's up to us to put that pressure on this government as a collective of public sector unions to make this change. G'day, I'm Strawbs. I'm the Northern Territory Organiser for the Electrical Trades Union, and I'm also the President currently of Unions NT. You might know about the ACTU, the Australian Trades and Labour Council. We're similar to them, but the Northern Territory version. So we are a body of unions, like-minded unions, that come together in many different ways to progress, wages and conditions and anything to do with workers across the Northern Territory. So the Trades and Labour Council is here on your behalf, and we have a strategic approach to better people's work and lives in the NT. So our biggest battle at the moment is the public sector wage freeze. So a number of the public sector unions are involved in bargaining at the moment with the OCPE, the respective agencies and the government in relation to our new enterprise agreements. There was a report commissioned some years ago in 2018 on the fiscal position of the Northern Territory, and that report had in there that all NTPS employees received a $1,000 wage increase per year. The government aren't even abiding by that. What they are offering is taxable bonuses that do not increase wages. They're going off a report that was done in 2018. In that time, we've had a pandemic, a lot of things have changed, and the government hasn't changed their wages policy. That's what we need to change. Where we're at the moment with all of them is we have currently correctional officers and the fireys undertaking protected industrial action in their campaigns for a better deal. We have the dentists on a no vote. We have Power and Water on 2 no votes. We have Territory Generation just received their offer. We have Aboriginal health practitioners, I believe, are receiving their offer. Obviously the AEU and the teachers, they are on a no vote, a strong no vote there. And the nurses are currently 3/4 of the way through their log of claims in bargaining. So the other 2 areas are Jacana. Jacana voted up their agreement recently. Jacana has about 60 employees. There is also the public sector general agreement, which got voted up last year. I think it was about 52 or 53% voted yes, and unfortunately that agreement got up, which affects probably 13,000 workers in the Northern Territory. So that brings us to where we are now, and the work that we have to do as the rest of the agencies and the public sector unions in changing the wages policy that the government currently has in place. So in the other agreements, in Jacana and in the Northern Territory, the general agreement, the big one, there is a clause in there that should the wages policy change, those changes will flow on to people who work under those agreements, and the OCPE will do a determination, is what it's called, to afford those changes, any improvements to workers who are under those 2 agreements that have been voted up. So it's not about any one agency. It's not about just Power and Water workers. It's not about just corrections or just the teachers. It's about all of us working together to change the wages policy, to put the pressure on the government, so that will flow to all public sector workers in the Northern Territory, because we can't see how this is going to benefit the Territory for such a long period with a wage freeze. People will leave, we'll lose the skills that we need, we'll lose a lot of the lifestyle that we had, the whole lot. So we need to put this pressure on. So we need to be in a spot in the coming months where we've got corrections, fireys, teachers, nurses, power and water workers, territory generation workers, medical officers, the whole lot, in a stage where they can take protected industrial action, and we put this pressure together on given days, or we have a strategic approach on how we're going to do it, and we put some almighty pressure on this government to change this wages policy. Just because the NTPS General Agreement got up doesn't mean that the rest of the public sector have to accept those conditions. We need to fight for all those people who didn't have a voice in that agreement and are now under these poorer conditions. And it's our job as the rest of the unions to get on board and get this over the line and get this wages policy changed. Teachers are not alone in this fight. We've already got corrections going out the gate. We've got fireys taking protected action, and you'll see all the other agencies getting behind each other and getting together to make this change. So get on board and get on board the fight.